A small class, Dhamma talk class.
Yeah.
All right, so
Why
as
are you
the
saying Dhamma talk?
well, we're going to be talking about Dhamma today, right?
Okay.
So sound check, please. How's the sound? Is it all right?
Everybody can hear clearly?
Yes.
Clearly.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
All right, so as the protocol that we do every time is we pay respect to the Buddha and also Dhammajan Sushanakorn and Ariya Bukkhala as well. So let's begin, shall we?
Yeah.
มหาพิวาทะพุทธวจนะจตุราสีติธรรมขันธาสหัสสานิวิสติอริยมาคาวิสติสามัญญพละเอกานิพานะขิปาพิญญาโดยเฉียบพลันในประวัติการนี้เทินโยโวอานันทมยาธรรมโมจะวินโยจะเทสิโตปัญญโตโสโวมะมะจะเยนะสัทธาโยโวอานันทมยาธรรมโมจะวินโยจะเทสิโตปัญญโตโสโวมะมะจะเยนะสัทธา
No, that's okay.
โยโวอานันทมยาธรรมโมจะวินโยจะเทสิโตปัญญโตโสโวมะมะจะเยนะสัทธาพุทธวจนะจตุราสีติธรรมขันธาสหัสสานิอิสปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิสมณโคตมะปัญญาธิกะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมหาพิวาทะปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิปัญญาธิกะ who accumulated parami for 20 asankhaya and another 100,000 kappa. The Buddha met 500,000. Let's just say it in Thai, okay? It's too difficult to say it in English. I can't think of numbers in English right now.
Okay.
512,028
ปัญญาธิกะพุทธะ
ด้วยเสียงกล่าว I tried.
Okay, at least.
นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมหาพิวาทะปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิสัทธาธิกะทรงบำเพ็ญมหาปารมี40อสังไขยะกำไรแสนกัปปะทรงพบปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิ1,24,055สัทธาธิกะพุทธะด้วยเสียงกล่าวนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมหาพิวาทะปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิวิริยาธิกะทรงบำเพ็ญมหาปารมี80อสังไขยะกำไรแสนกัปปะทรงพบปรมัตถานุตตรสัมมาสัมโพธิ2,48,109วิริยาธิกะพุทธะด้วยเสียงกล่าว We pay respect to ติปิตกาธรรมจริยธรรมปาลาเถรวาทาพลาโพธิสุชาตินาคอ่อนวิสติอริยมาคาวิสติสามัญญพละเอกานิพานะกิปาพิญญาโดยเฉียบพลันในประวัติการนี้เทิน We pay respect to Ariya Bukkhala in Buddha Sasana. We pay respect to ท่านอังคกุณาอริยธรรมโสตาปันนะ and ท่านพัชรโพธิธรรมโสตาปันนะสุปฏิปันโนสุปฏิปันโนสุปฏิปันโน Now we pay respect to Pante and Aye together. นมัสการพันเตอาเย
วิสติอริยมรรคาน
มัสการพันเตอาเย
วิสติสามัญญพละ
นมัสการพันเตอาเย
เอกันิพพานะขิปปาปิญญาโดยเฉียบพลันในประวัติการนี้เทิน
สาธุสาธุสาธุนาวุติอุปา
ติ
ทิ
สันนิธิพันธะอนุโมทามิ
And anumotana to everyone joining the class as well. We have quite a few people here today, lay people including Aye. So let's announce today's date in Buddha Sasana first. Today's date is
สุกาปคัสสะ5 ค่ำภักขุณมาสัสสะ
all right, the fifth, right?
Yeah,
Sukapakasa the fifth, Pakuna Masasa.
So the
Mahaputtashayanti 2614, which in the earthly date is it aligns with the Saturday the 21st of February, Mahaputta Parinibbana year 2569. So my name is Ben. I have a Dhamma name. My Dhamma name is Panita Parami. Yana Vivatta Tavi Patimokkha Tipitaka Mahinta Sankamita Dhammapala Theravada Palapoti Pantita
And of course I am Miki and my Chaya is Pasara Pramayana Vivatta Mahinta Sankamita Dhammapala Theravada Pala Poti
Pandita.
ปันทิตา
Right. Let me check if I have the correct file. All right, I do.
Okay, first of all, been having like coming up with a new idea of having Dhamma talk. So we'll
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Like ideally, I would like to do a podcast style, kind of like a class. Try to get away from the lecture. But maybe if you guys prefer the lecture style class, then you can tell us as well, so we can revert to that style. But as an experiment, we would like to do that. Today might not sound too much like a podcast. Based on you guys, you already have a lot of foundation on Dhamma. So,
True.
But anyways, so the point of Dhamma talk is just to talk about Dhamma, and also not purely on Dhamma. I think as lay people, we still have to put up with a lot of crap in life. And so we talk a lot, about how we go about our lives and try to relate everything with the teaching of the Buddha, because ultimately we all want to
Nibbana.
Nibbana. We want to leave all the suffering and all the chaos in life.
And of course, everybody, if they are Buddhist, this is the ultimate goal, right? But we don't really know, or like, okay, the people outside, or even though we have Dhamma, like the right Dhamma, which is Abhidhamma. And sometimes you didn't really focus. Of course, it swing back and forth all the time, right? So, well, we're going to have the discussion about like, is that normal that it's always in and out, wing left and right all the time, and it's not that stable in some particular time? So is that normal, or it's just because of we are like full of sin?
We are full of sins. That's not to be pessimistic, by the way. It's
Yeah.
just the reality. Otherwise, we'll all be enlightened already, right? And the reason why we're here is still because we have a lot of akusala. And the first step to eliminating akusala is to first realize that we came from akusala.
True.
So let's talk about
But
it.
it's hard to believe that, because people always think that, okay, everybody is supposed to be good. But
Yeah, I think we all fall into the trap of bias. Like, we would like to think that we are good people, right?
True.
But if you think about it, what is the real definition of a good person? Right? Because in a lot of people's view, being a good person is to be able to, for example, please their
Yes.
parents, right? If they
Yeah.
want you to do certain things, or
And
if they
you
want you to
obey.
study to become a doctor, and you obey, and then you follow their suggested path and become an actual doctor, then, well, by definition, their definition, they would be considered as a good person, right? Or a good person, by a lot of people's definition, could mean that you are a generous person.
you're good-hearted.
You're good-hearted. You provide for other people. You give money to charities. That could be their definition of a good person. But for the Buddha and for Buddhists, the definition of a good person is actually what? What's the definition of a good person for a Buddhist?
Well, it's all about you're not, you control your anger, like you're not angry, you check your feelings, you don't have those kind of negative feelings, right? Sad,
Sad,
frustration, what else? Envy.
So meaning that if you are able to do all these things already, like to be able to control all these negative emotions and all these urges, it means that you probably must have eliminated akusala already, right? But so far today, if you do a self-reflection, right? If you are honest with yourself, I'm honest with myself, that I still get angry, I still get upset with a lot of events that happen in my life. There's a lot of people that stimulate anger out of me, it's not because of them, I know, it's because of me from inside that I'm still not able to contain it just yet. Okay, I'm trying to by studying what the Buddha teaches. Anyway, so let's get into today's topic, which is
how to think like a Buddhist.
how to think like a Buddhist. All right. A real Buddhist, like a Theravada Buddhist, not just how to think like anyone, right? Everybody has a thought. We can all agree that, right?
True.
But for Buddhists, we think differently. That's why we have different goals. Compared to other religions, to other cults or beliefs,
Yeah.
right? Their life goal could mean that, okay, I'm going to be as rich and prosperous as much as possible, or to be as kind and giving as possible, or maybe to one day be with the God or the gods, right? That's their way of thinking.
They think they should, they want to be good, they want to please people, and they want to become like the more sacrifice, you know. The more you sacrifice, you become, you know, up higher in the levels or the rank.
Right, but you think that's not the Buddhist way of thinking, right?
No, it's not. It's
The real Buddhist way of thinking. It might seem like it, right? You could relate that to dana. Hey, the Buddha teaches about dana too. Well, that's only one part of it. But dana actually has a very deep meaning, which we probably won't get into today unless you asked about it later in the class. But let's talk about the way that we think as a true Buddhist. Okay, so all right. So why is it important to think like a Buddhist? All right. Because what? The ultimate goal for us is to reach Nibbana, right? That's why we have to think like a Buddhist. We cannot be thinking like other people, right? Thinking like the other people will always lead to one thing, which is like if you know Dhamma, it's called Sangvekha. Right, it might be a new vocabulary for you, but it's the Buddhist vocabulary. So Sangvekha means that your future life is already determined, and it's determined that you are going to go to Apaya Bhumi. Right, if you know about the Bhumis, then the lowest Bhumis are Apaya Bhumi. So the lowest one is the hell being, right? Okay, the people who go to hell, basically. Peta, you know, some people translate that as a hungry ghost or whatever. Asurakaya and Tirachana, like animals. So these are the destinations for people who don't think like a Buddhist. And that's why we have to try to understand what it is that leads us to become an Apaya Bhumi being. And what leads us to become a human, a manusa, and ultimately what leads us to become a lokutara or an enlightened person. So first of all, let's look at this picture. All right, it's a depiction. The circle right here at the center towards the left. This is a depiction of Paticca Samuppada. All right, so we are born and then we live our lives and then we die and then we are born again, we live our lives and we die, and the cycle just repeats itself non-stop until that we meet the Buddha. But it's not easy, of course, to meet the Buddha. When I say meeting the Buddha, it doesn't mean like you have to physically meet him, because that's another journey for, you know, Savaka or the followers, the disciples, to help in order to help establish Buddha Sasana. But meeting the Buddha means that we meet his teaching,
true.
which is Puttha Vajana.
True.
All right, so let's see what the top text says, only the Buddha discovered the framework to break the cycle of rebirth. So, Mahapodhisatta. Mahapodhisatta is a being who accumulated a lot of parami, a lot of kusala, a lot of good deeds in order to become the person who is like the system hacker, like the matrix hacker. He discovers the way for not only himself but for beings in the 31 bhumis to escape the cycles of rebirth. And the so-called framework that he used to discover all these things is called Paticcasamuppada, right? I'm sure all of us are familiar with the term Paticcasamuppada. It starts with avicca, right? So avicca, sankhara, vinyana, namarupa, salayatana, phassa, vedana, tanha, upathan, bhov or phava, right? And then chati. And then you get chara, marana, soka, pariteva, dukkha, tomanasa, upayasa. And the cycle just keeps repeating itself. Right now, as we're living in the present life, we are already at the same time creating the future life. And the reason why we are here is because we have the past life. The past life in Buddhism we call Atita. Right now is Paccuppanna. In the future is Anakata. And it just keeps going and going and going. But at one point, there came the Mahapodhisatta. And then he becomes enlightened through Paticcasamuppada. And then he knows basically everything. All the details, all the illusions, every single thing he knew. He knew all the beings that were born, right? All the beings, whether it be Manusa or Tirachana or Devas, Brahmas, all the disciples, he knew how to help them escape this, right? Now that would depend on their preparedness to become enlightened, right? We all have to agree that we have different levels of parami, meaning our previous accumulation of understanding of the Buddha's teaching, right? Because this is not the first time that we hear the teaching of the Buddha. Actually, there are more Buddha than just one, right? Millions of Buddhas that came before the present one, right? So we have heard a lot of teaching in the past already, but we didn't have enough knowledge. We didn't have enough knowledge or sikkaya to reach enlightenment. Not yet, at least, but we are trying to achieve that within this life, right? So that's why we need the Buddha. We need to see his perspective because he knew everything and he still holds that key, but we need to find that key, right? If we can find that key, then we can leave all the chaos here, all the chaos from being born again and again and again. All right, so first of all, there's this misunderstanding that being a Buddhist means that you
have to separate.
You have to separate yourself from earthly matters. Mm-hmm. Like you cannot work, for example, right? It's a misunderstanding, by the way. The Buddha actually never opposed material progress, material growth in life, because the Buddha teaches us that there are 4 sanya, right? Sanya 3 and sanya 4. So sanya meaning, sanya means that the thing that you have, the thing that you took with you from the past life to this present life, and it keeps you going in the system, in the system of the watta or rebirth. So let's talk about these sanya three real quick. So what are they? Number one,
กามสัญญา
kama sanya. So if I can zoom in right here, see,
กามสัญญา
kama sanya,
all the living
kojara sanya, marana sanya. Let's talk about the first three. All right. So what is kama sanya?
กามสัญญา yeah, you born like people would say it's by nature, you're born, you have to make a living. So the kojara sanya is make a living, but you're born, yes, as a human being or the animals, like Dirashana.
And they reproduce.
Yes.
That's kama, right?
Yes. And kojara sanya, it's, everybody have to survive. And of course, as a human being, we survive by like doing our jobs, you have work to, get some income and, you got
Yes.
that into your families and taking care of everybody's in your family.
Just about everybody has to work, right? What
Yeah.
about the third one?
Marana sanya.
What is it?
So one day after that, we're going to die, right? And the marana sanya, it's including in the way we are protecting ourselves from the death. If it's not the time to death yet.
Right. So we have to survive, right? We have the
Survive.
natural instinct to try to survive.
Yeah, protect or defend all the dangers.
So that makes us no different from animals then, right? Because
course.
animals also they have to
So they have this
reproduce,
function.
right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and what else? They have to work, right? They don't work to make money like humans do, but they work to make a living,
True.
right? They have to survive marana sanya as well. But so how are we different from animals then?
And of course, by human function, we have Dhamma sanya. The Dhamma sanya is make us different from the animals, right? And of course, Dhamma sanya come from the past. So whatever you accumulate as a Dhamma sanya in the past is giving you this human function
Yes.
to be able to receive, or you have the bigger the receptor.
Yeah.
So it's different from the animals.
Right. But before being an animal, people had to go through being a hell being first. They go to hell first, and then they transcend to being a peta, and then they go up to being a asurakaya, then tirachana, which is like animals, right? So that's a process in that. So probably in the past life, they were probably human at one point, but they did not make punya kiriyavatu in the past. Punya kiriyavatu is essential not only to become a human again, but in order to become enlightened. There's a process to that which we could explain maybe a little bit today. So Dhamma sanya is the thing that makes us different from animals. We have the capability to study. But a lot of people use this capability to study science and physics and finance and a lot of things to make Kama sanya, Kojara sanya, and Marana sanya, but not to receive Dhamma from the Buddha, right? But with this ability, you have the potential to receive Dhamma from the Buddha. All right. With this potential, if you take advantage of it, then you have a really good chance to reach Nibbana, especially as a human being. So look at this normal human being here. I mean, he's probably a hardworking person, judging by the way he works, and seems like a successful person. He might be an architect, right? Because he has the building model right here. And in the spare time, he probably does a lot of trading too. But look what else is in his office. That's the
Is that your
Tipitaka.
office?
Pretty similar to my office, and actually reminds me of Lung Song Sak's office. It's like that, Tipitaka, right? And what is this? Oh, this is Abhidhamma study, right? Just like us. Just like us. See, you can work a lot, you can become really successful, you can have a lot of aspiration in life, right? You can have material progress, you can have whatever you want in life, but at the same time, you still study Dhamma. Like we are doing these days, we still do that. And a lot of people are doing that right now within our group, which is great. So these things can go together, right? The Buddha never opposed working, but he also said, hey, you must have Dhamma as well. Who would like to read this? Okay. Let's see who's here. Sankamita, can you turn on your mic and read
Yes.
this passage here, starting with the
Yes,
Buddha?
I can read it. The consequences of how you think. The Buddha provided a clear path to escape the endless cycle of rebirth and avoid apaya bhumi, 4, which we are otherwise bound to enter. By following this path through Sikhaya, the study of Abhidhamma, focusing on the 121 chittas, 52 chetasikas, and 28 rupas, one can secure rebirth as a human, Manusa, a Deva, or a Brahma. More importantly, the Buddha encouraged us to aim higher and attain the Lokuttara state. This achievement permanently seals the doors to the Apaya Bhumi and marks the first step towards Nibbana, the ultimate end of suffering.
Great reading. Wow. You sound so clean and professional. And yeah, that's it. So these are the consequences of how you think, right? There are basically two paths. You can think in the sucharit way, which is the right way, and the tucharit way, which is the corrupt way. The tucharit way, the corrupt way, will lead you to Apaya Bhumi 4. So the Buddha came in to help us realize that, but not only to help us realize, he also showed us the way to become the human, to become a Deva or Brahma, and even better, to reach Lokuttara level. And that's why your thinking does matter. Your thinking does matter. That doesn't mean that you have to think about Dhamma all the time, but you should think about Dhamma like more frequently, right? So if an event occurred in your life and it's probably not in your favor, if you have the ability to recall Dhamma principles, especially Abhidhamma that we call Sikhaya, then you have a good chance of avoiding Abaya Bhumi 4 and hopefully reach the Lokuttara state. All right, that's why thinking does matter, and it's important to think like a Buddhist. Now, how to think like a Buddhist or how to think as a Buddhist? There's a framework for that. That's a framework for that. Just like every aspiration in your life, I think you can agree too. Like every goal needs a framework.
True.
Do you think people become like successful just purely on luck? I mean, luck does play a role because luck has to do with your past punya kiriya vatu, right? But they do have the framework. That's why they're able to navigate and become successful. Whether in finance, I think people are successful in finance. They know how to trade. They know when to buy. They know when to sell. They know how to invest, for example, in real estate. How to manage their finance and business.
Yeah, let's ask Sankamita, what is the framework becoming successful teacher?
Oh,
Yeah, because she's the teacher, right?
do you have a framework for teaching, like how to start and how to finish a class?
Yes, sir. First, we have to know what we are going to teach the student. We have to make our lesson plan step by step, and we have to explain them using the teaching aids. If we will show them, then only they can understand. Without reason, there is nothing. There should be something that they can understand while teaching. We have to show the proof.
That's it. Yeah. So that's an example, a good example of a framework. Thank you. Yeah, like making lesson plans and all that. So a framework is kind of like a system. Everything must fall into a system and things will work out the way that you want it to. right? In business, in relationship, even in relationships, you can agree we must have frameworks, right? How to deal with conflicts and how to apologize, how to conduct yourself when
yeah.
like things when you have an argument.
Yeah, how to acknowledge or validate your partners in the right way. So it's everything. If you want to be successful in one thing, you need the steps. Yeah, you need to know how to make it work.
Yeah, so it helps a lot, right?
Yes, yes.
So in language also, for example, in English, like how do you present in English, right? How do you start? How do you carry out a conversation? And how do you land the conversation? So there's always a framework, even in productivity, right? In life, how do you become more productive? You wake up at 5 a.m. and then you read a book, and then you chant some Dhamma or something, and then you start work at 8 or 9 o'clock. Before that, you exercise. That's a framework for good productivity. So every goal needs a framework.
Yes.
Same with Dhamma, right? What is the ultimate goal of Dhamma? It's Nibbana, right? That's why we are all here. We want to reach Nibbana, but just like anything in the world, in order to reach that goal, the goal of Nibbana, it must require, there must be what? A framework, right? There must be a framework.
And Ajahn live all the message to us already, right? To enter the Nibbana, of course, there are Visati Ariyamakha, Visati Samanya Phala, which to Eka Nibbana Kipa Pinya immediately. So the clue of having or entering Nibbana as everybody wish.
Yeah.
So Ajahn already give you the keywords. But okay, that keywords, you have to find it within the Abhidhamma. That's why Ajahn keeps saying Visati Ariya Makha. So you gotta find what is the Visati Ariya Makha. It's the 20 citta, right? Ariya Makha. And of course, after the Makha, you enter to Phala. Phala is another 20. So this keyword is giving you a lot of details. Actually, it's giving you it's very meaningful. Before that, we used to recite, but we don't know the descriptions. We don't know the details. And once you starting to know the details and you go back to the Abhidhamma, you will see clearly why Ajahn already setting up this kind of keywords for us to find it into the past, into the original source of Abhidhamma. So this is also the very important keywords that he left for everybody.
All right, should I show the framework now?
Sure.
All right. So this is the framework. All right, the Chavana cycle. I'll tell you what it is. But this is okay. Disclaimer, this is my own realization based on studying with Ajahn Suchat. All right. Chavana, that's the key word. So Chavana is spelled Javana, right? So I make it an acronym, Javana. So J is joining Gaya and Vaji. So we must first use Gaya and Vaji, right, to start the process of entering Kamma. All right. So by the way, if you don't have a lot of foundation, just be patient with yourself because this is quite advanced, and I'm not going to go too much into detail because it would take hours and hours of foundation building, and it might just blow you away. But just be patient. All right. So J, joining Kaya and Vaji. So if you have a foundation, then you know that in order to reach Nibbana, first step is to understand that we live on the foundation of Samutthana, Rupa Samutthana,
Rupa.
and there are four, right? Kammacharupa, Chittacharupa, Utucharupa, and Aharacharupa. We as humans, right? We are Utu and Ahara. Utu and Ahara. So we are part of the universe, the earth, the sun, the moon,
Yeah.
everything, us, that's utu, including us, right? And we are ahara. We're kind of like food. Ahara is food, right? But not literally food. We breathe in oxygen, right? We release carbon dioxide, okay? That's food. Everything is food, but we don't say food. We say ahara. We are part of that. And chitta also, chitta sharupa. Now, if you look in chitta sharupa, how many rupas are there in chitta sharupa?
15.
15. 15. So first part is kamacharupa, anekanta. Oh, I'm getting really technical here. Just be patient. So there's patavi, apo, tesho, vayo, rupa, kanta, rasa, ahara, paricheta rupa. Right, and then there's akamacharupa. Akamacharupa consists of, in this case, sattha rupa, kaya vinyati rupa, vachi vinyati rupa,
Vikara.
and vikara rupa. 3, right? Rupasa. No.
Vikara rupa. Rupa salahufta. Rupa sa.
Mututa, rupasa, kamayata. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So these 15. But notice these two important rupas, Kaya vinyati rupa and Vachi vinyati rupa. You think about it, that is sila. That's part of punya kiriya vatu. But Chitta charupa, Utu charupa, and Ahara charupa. These 3 out of 4 in Samutatthana. This is in the present life. The life that we are living in right now, we use only 3. We use only 3, meaning we have Kaya and Vachi, meaning that we can use our body, the way that we think, the way that we speak, and direct our attention to Buddha Vachana, to making Punya Kiriyavatu according to Theravada teaching, right? Everything starts from here. That's why we build temples, Vatta, Vivatta, everywhere. How many temples do we have now? Like, it must be like 11 or
Almost 12. I
almost
think.
12. Yeah. A lot of temples. All right. But it's not about the numbers. It's about building this to be able to enter into Chavana. Oh, goodness. This is only the J one. Okay. Let's go to A. Okay. Number 2, A. Accessing Hatayavatu. Ooh, that is reaching
Where
the
is
heart base.
located? Where is located in Samutatthana?
Okay, it's in Kamacharupa. And when we say heart base, okay, this is like not the real heart. This is Patavi. This is not, but the heart for the chitta. Okay, not the physical heart, but the heart or the place that chitta reside. Okay, 107 chitta that resides with and inside of Hatayavatu. That's part of Kamacharupa. How many rupas are there in Kamacharupa?
18.
18, yeah? So you have the 9 common ones, just like Chitta, Utu, and Ahan, right? So these 9, first of all, are Patavi, Apo, Tesho, Vayo, Rupa, Kanta, Rasa, Ahara, Paricheta, Rupa. So this is the common ground. Now, the later 9, that's pure Kamma, pure Kamacharupa, right? What are they? Jakku pasatha rupa, Sota pasatha rupa, Khana pasatha rupa, Chiuha pasatha rupa, Kaya pasatha rupa, Iti Phava rupa, Purisa Phava rupa, Hataya rupa, and Shivita rupa. So 9 plus 9 is 18. These 18 rupas make up Kamacharupa. And the most important one is Hatayavatu, because in there, there's 107 citta, including Lokutara citta. But the trick is, okay, is to not go directly there because we can't. Because everything here is already been made. It's part of the rupa, it's part of apayagata. It's finished. We can't change what's already finished. We have to go back further, kind of like a time machine, but not literal term, but we have to go back further. Through the process of Chavana, if you study Viti Chitta, right? Inside of Chavana, there are 7 moments or 7 khana inside of Chavana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like similar to a person being a Sotapanna person, and they will live like maximum 7 lives, right? Kind of like that. But this is like a tube, like a place where you can go in and out like all the time. right? From present life to past life and to the previous past life. You can do that, all right? You can do that not with the physical form like this, but through
สิกขายะ
Sikhaya, and everything will operate itself. Because whatever we get from outside is called Satathamma, and Satathamma is from the Buddha. The Buddha has the power to help us to be able to go back and do whatever it takes to help us reach Sotapanna. But we must understand the pathway first, okay? And that's why we have to understand about Shavana. Let's move on to the next one. So V, number 3, V. V stands for Virati. Virati is what? Cetasika, right?
Cetasika.
What are they?
สัมมาวาจาสัมมากัมมันตะสัมมาอาชีวะ
Right. So Virati acquisition. So you must get Virati Cetasika. Now if you notice that Hatayavatu, right? The outside part there are 37 and inside there's 70. All right, 70 chitta inside. If we go inside, we go to the future. If we go inside of Hatayavatu, right? In the second Shavana, we go to the future life. That's Anakhata. But we don't want to do that just yet, right? We want to enter Sotapanna, which is on the outside. On the outside is with the 37 of Hatayavatu. But look, if we make Punya Kiriyavatu, we must do it with Mahakusala Chitta, right? But at Hatayavatu, Mahakusala Chitta 8 happened to be inside of Hatayavatu. I remember, like I said, if you enter the 70, if you enter inside, you cannot come back out. It means you go to the future. You might be a Manusa human, you might be a Deva, Brahma, whatever, but you can become enlightened. If you want to become enlightened, you must have Virati Cetasika. Now, if you look, Virati Cetasika 3, right? They don't work with all the chitta. They only work with how many chitta? Total. 48, right? 48 chitta. 40 being Lokutara. Why Lokutara? Because think about it. Samma Vacha Cetasika becomes what?
อริยมรรค
Samma Vacha Ariyamakha. Samma Kammanta Cetasika becomes Samma Kammanta Ariyamakha. Samma Ashiva Cetasika becomes Samma Ashiva Ariyamakha. It's part of the eightfold path, right? Or, the Makha 8. So that's why Virati Cetasika work with these 40 Lokutara Chitta. All right. But 8, they also work with another one.
It's still
another
happening for us, right?
Virati Cetasika works with Maha Kusala Chitta 8. But the dilemma is if you enter inside Hatayavatu to that Maha Kusala Chitta 8, you go to the future. Going to the future meaning you cannot reach Sotapanna. So the solution is you must go back one more life, one more Shavana. One more Shavana. Imagine there are 7 states, right? Number 1 being this life that we use Chitta, Sharupa, Utu Sharupa, and Ahara Sharupa. We use Kaya and Vachi, right? Starting here. Now we go back one to the second Shavana. Then we find Hatayavatu. All right. We know that on the outside, Maha Kusala Chitta is not there. We must go back one more. On the outside of Hatayavatu, there's Mahavipaka Chitta 8. And they don't work with Virati Cetasika.
But they don't work with Virati Cetasika. But it's the reflection of it used to be Maha Kusala Chitta.
Yes, that's the hint. That's the hint, right? So Mahavipaka Chitta 8. They're the result of Maha Kusala Chitta in the past. So we go to the past. We go to the third Shavana. Inside of Shavana, there are 87 Chitta. It's called Atipati. All right. You will find Maha Kusala Chitta over there. All right. Okay, let's move on to the number 4. A. All right. So after you have acquired Virati Cetasika from the third Shavana, you anchor back, meaning you come back to the second Shavana
with Virati.
With Virati Cetasika that you had acquired. So you already we're already able to control Kaya and Vaji. Remember, we started out with Kaya and Vaji from the first life, and that's Akusala Kaya and Akusala Vaji, right? But now, after having gone back to the third Chavana, we got Virati Cetasika. Samma Vacha Cetasika controls Vaji Tucharit, the bad Vaji, right? Musa, Pisuna, Vata, Puruswata, Sampapalapa. Samma Kamanta controls the bad Kaya, right? Pana Tina Game. Samma Ashiva controls both Kaya and Vaji. Now you have that important element already. You are basically almost ready. You're ready now. Basically, you are ready to become a Lokutara person by doing what? By coming back, anchoring back to Hatayavatu. You must come back to Hatayavatu because Sota Pati Makha Citta, 5 are there, right on the outside. Then you do what? N. Nullifying Akusala, it means you eradicate or you eliminate or you get rid of certain Akusala. For example, Pana, Atina Kame, Musa, Michha Tithi. Right? For example, a lot of Akusala, Chitta and Cetasika. Then, last stage, A, arriving at Sota Patimakha. That's the final realization of the path. When you become a Sota Patimakha, it's inevitable that you will become a Sota Patipala person. What does that mean? That means that you have permanently sealed off all the doors to Apaya Bhumi 4, and at maximum, you will be born for another 7 lives. It's called Satta Kaktu, right? That's maximum. So this is the framework of how you can become a Lokutara person. Chavana, a very important key. This is the path. This is the a roadmap, basically. If you look at this picture together, all right, the wheel here represents Paticca Samuppada, and you just keep going and going and going and going, all right? And in the first life, we have Kaya and Vaji. We have our body, and we have our ability to speak and think, all right, Kaya and Vaji. In order to become enlightened, you have to enter the path of Kamma. Kamma means you go to the past. Now it's Chavana 1, right? You must go to Chavana 2. Going to Chavana 2 means you go to the past
Back to the
or
Kamma.
Atita. This is the path. This is an illustration of going to the past. The golden stream here, right? Ekayamakha, right? Then you go back to second Chavana. Right here, you see the heart symbol, right? That's Hatayavatu. Hatayavatu inside, 70, outside, 37.
37.
Yeah, you want to say something?
No, it's always like having two paths. One action of us, it's automatically can be to the past, or it's just running forward to the future. So
Yeah.
and basically by the streamline itself, by nature itself of the Paticca Samuppada, of course everything you do without the teaching of Buddha, it's always go with the flow. So in order to go with the flow, it's enter the inside of Hatayavatu at 70 and go all the way through the process again. So meaning that if everybody who's
Then you go
born,
back to Paticca
yeah,
Samuppada.
who's born already, you can't avoid that. We should stop this and that in order to not going through the process of by nature. But for those who sikaya or know the way to go, you have more chance. The quickly you know, the more time you have for like adjusting yourself or fix yourself or make yourself be able to act according to what Buddha said. Right.
Okay, so next, right, when after you have entered Hatayavatu, you go through the process of Chawana. You want to go to the real Chawana, but the Chawana in the past, the third Chawana in the past, to acquire Virati Jetasika that worked with Mahakusala Chitta 8, right? The origin. You see the symbols here. These are the gems, right? I mean, if you, for example, you know Sila, right? For example, you say Panatipata, Vera Mani, Sikha Patang Samatiyami. When we say money, right? A lot of people think about gems, but actually the real meaning of money is different. Basically, it's different. It doesn't mean like literal money like that. It's like Puttha Ratana, Dhamma Ratana, Sankha Ratana. It's about becoming an enlightened person. And this Virati Cetasika, right? You bring back, look at this arrow here. You bring back to Hatayavatu. And now you're ready to eliminate Akusala in order to become Sotapati Makha, right? You see the black smoke here? That's Akusala. All right? That's a part of us. Now, once you eliminate that, the black Akusala, right? Here. Oh, the black part like leaves you and you become a Sotapati Makha person. Right here at Hatayavatu. Remember, Sotapati Makha is right on the edge of Hatayavatu. Then you break the seal. Now you are able to reach the Lokuttara state, which is what we aim for. All right, so we have a bit of time, real quick. So how do we apply the framework to our daily life? For example, like, when you have a difficult relationship, people, when they talk to each other, right? When we talk to each other, nonsense, arguing or not arguing, like inside of us, in the side of Shawana, is already creating hell, creating a payapumi, right? Because we are talking with heat, with tosa, with anger, with vedana. So inside of us is already determined that we are going to be a hell person. So, like, how do you navigate difficult relationship? For example, like when we have an argument, like how do you apply Dhamma, especially, Chavana, to help us to have a better relationship?
First of all, you need to have good relationship with yourself first. I think from the Sikaya, if you can accept that everything that is happening right now, you have to done something in the past. So everything that happened now, it's just something you did in the past and you found it again this life.
Okay, so that's the easiest way to think.
It's just for me to stop at myself. I mean, when having something difficult, when in the past we trying to blame outside, blame the events outside, the people outside, they make us feel those and that. But from the Sikaya, of course, we know everything is the same. Like everything is just like that. It could happen to anyone.
What's the implication in terms of Abhidhamma?
Implication in terms of Abhidhamma?
Yeah.
So,
how, like when we get angry, when we get upset.
Just realize it's come from, everything come from yourself first.
Okay, you like Hatayavatu, right?
Yeah, before becoming us, there have been something we've been accumulating, carry forward until you can feel it now. So it's the signal from the past that showing that we still cannot control. That's why we still have this kind of feelings. So first of all, you have to understand yourself before talking to others.
Okay, so would you say that it's a result of Tosa, right?
It's a result of, Akusala.
Oh, can you tell us about the process of how Tosa has transferred to us being angry or upset today?
It's from Shawana, of course.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's from Chawana, right?
Yeah.
Because inside of Chawana, there's Tosa, both Tosa Chitta and Tosa Cetasika, right?
Yes.
So it's from Chawana, and then it's transferred to Hatayavatu.
Yes.
Why so Tosa and Hatayavatu? Tosa.
Tomanasa. Or it's the Vedana, right? It's like showing. It's showing through our bodies. It's different forms, so we will not call Tosa anymore. Tosa is the term of in the past.
Yeah. So what we're saying that is that there's actually a lot of details in the process of how we have a negative reaction to things. It happens like not directly from Tosa, but you have to see that everything started from Tosa inside of Chawana already. And because Chawana creates everything, including Rupa and Bhumi, right? So we already have this information instilled in us.
Yeah.
So nobody in this life, like no parents ever taught the children how to be angry, but the children knew how to do that automatically. So that confirms the idea, the discovery of the Buddha, that we were made from the past. We were determined from the past already. And Tosa is a big part of that.
Yeah, and Tosa could be attached with anything. People, the degree of anger, okay, I will say the word anger, the degree of anger that happens to anyone is different. Somebody's getting angry because of, they feel like, people don't really respect them. Or for some people, they get angry because of something else, like the degree of expression in particular is different.
Because we were made differently.
True.
But we were made from Tosa.
Yes.
Right? It just depends on how we react.
But the air of Tosa, you see, it could happen in any kind of form.
So it's not other people, right? It's not other people that made us angry. But the anger comes from ourselves, right?
Yeah, it's just trigger. It's like hit your nerve, like the inside
it
nerve.
triggers. Yeah, so you already have this trigger inside of you that's ready to explode anytime.
Yeah.
So how does realizing that you have the past of Tosa and other, like a lot of akusala from the past, like how does realizing this help you to, handle situations better?
For me, I don't think I can handle it good enough.
You're being honest.
Yeah. I don't think that I can handle, but at least listen to Buddhas. I can really give them the name, give them the name and the process of how it happened, how it's been created. And the only thing that can fix this is not to fix myself, it's just to have Buddha Vajana cover every single steps.
Because like the way to fix it is to fix from the inside. So it's not about us. We can facilitate it, but it's not about us.
It's not about controlling
our emotions, suppress the emotions. Because essentially, like we said at the beginning, we are all made of ahara, right? We're basically food. So whenever we die, we become like fertilizers, we become just useless and nobody remembers us. But Chitta remembers everything. So we try to fix everything from Chitta inside of us that we cannot physically feel right here. That's why it's important that we must try to memorize Chitta 121, Cetasika 52, and Rupa 28, because this is the foundation in order for you to fix what's inside. And it's actually the remedy that the Buddha, discovered and recommends that we use, because it's basically the only way to do it.
The simplest way, like when you find that it's very difficult for you to handle, it's, start recite Chitta, Cetasika, Rupa. Why? Because even though you can't think about anything, you can't think about how to go back from the Kaya Vaji through the process of Kamma and blah, blah, blah. At least it came from Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa. And this is the right thing, like the original things that you could realize. So sometimes when you find some difficult time, even though like the happy time or difficult time, everything come from the citta and cetasika. And that's why people, when they don't know what to do, especially when you get into the hard time, just recite citta, cetasika, rupa. Because if you think by yourself, you know, your thought will trick you because it's come from akusala. What you believe it's akusala. What's it's in your mano, it's akusala, right? It's like it's having the michatithi and stuff like that. Sometimes you're trying to explain yourself that I am right, you are wrong, but actually it's the michatithi. You never know what is right or wrong until you found that okay, that's the only way to fix it. Go back to the original.
But
Citta,
I would
cetasika,
say,
rupa.
like from my personal experience, after studying Abhidhamma, I feel like I'm able to control myself better, like naturally without forcing it.
Got it.
Yeah, but I mean, it takes a lot of understanding, you know, to be able to reach this point. But I think it's more solid and long term.
You see in long term, you see the result in long term. You are different. You in like 2 years, 3 years, or 10 years ago, and you are now
Very different, very
The
different.
way you understand matters.
Yeah,
It's different.
yeah. Like my temperament is a lot better. It used to be like a lot worse. But now I would say that my temperament is better. I give the credit to the Buddha. It's through understanding Abhidhamma and about akusala, and it helps me to realize a lot of things, and helps to nurture me in a way that I think I can have not only a good life in Dhamma, but a good life in the earthly world as well. Sanya 4, right?
Yes.
All right, so I think it's time, guys. Okay, we don't have time to talk about this. Okay, and anyway, the conclusion is the world is a deception. If you fall for it, the destination is apaya. If you see the truth, i.e., if you listen to the Buddha, the destination is nibbana. You don't need to understand every detail of the illusion. Like you don't need to know all the molecules and particles,
Yeah,
atoms,
yeah.
and all of that. You don't need to know all of that.
One thing I found with the Sikaya or learning Dhamma, I stopped asking why this happened to me, why those happened to me. Like the word why is just gone. It's just the way it is, and how to enter Nibbana. It's just to accumulate the kusala, doing punya kiriya, what to do everything that Buddha declare or said, and trying to understand it the way Buddha wants you to understand.
In other words, don't make it difficult for yourself. The path is clear. Just sikaya, that's it. Okay,
True.
so if you have you just need to know enough, all right, from the Buddha, and you will find the exit. Exit meaning nibbana, right? Apaya is like a maze. You just keep going, you can't find the exit anywhere. But you listen to the Buddha will give you the exit, and you just need to sikaya. You will have the map, and eventually you reach there. We all are on the same journey, and we help each other. That's it for today. Satu and Anumotana, everyone. Let's pay respect to Pante Anaye. Namaskaran Pante Aye. Namaskaran Pante Aye. Namaskaran Pante Aye.
เอกนิพพานาคิปปาปิญญาโดยเฉพาะในภวัตการนี้เถิด
Satu,
สาธุสาธุสาธุนาวุติปานิธิพันธะโมทามิ
Alright, great. So we pay respect to Arya Pukala, Supatipanno, Supatipanno, Supatipanno. Pay respect to the Buddha, Mahapiwata, Puttavajana, Chaturasi, Tamakanta, Sahasani, Visati Arya Makha, Visati Samanya Phala, Ekanipana, Kipa Pinya, Doshaplan, Nepotikani turn. Satu, 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 Navuti, Upaniti Panta, Anumotami. Any questions, guys? Anything?
One question only. I'm not getting how 18 rupees. I just want to know again. Will you explain? 18 rupa.
18 rupa in สมุตฐาน
Yeah.
Okay
Are you familiar with สมุตฐาน
รูปะสมุตฐาน
รูปะสมุตฐาน Are you
Have
familiar
you
with
heard
that?
of it
Yeah, means in rupa 28, the rupas are there, but when I calculate, I'm not getting 18 rupas. It's from Chakku.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you seen? Have you learned about Kamacharupa?
Acha rupa.
Have you heard of it I think you heard of it many
Have you heard of
times
it at least?
Yeah, I heard it.
All right. So Tamachariya, Tama teachers here, you guys homework is to teach Sanghamita and all the students here about Rupa Samutatan, especially Kamacharupa. All right.
Have you heard of the five process of rupa รูปะสมุตเทศรูปะวิภาคะรูปะสมุตฐานรูปะกลาปะรูปะปวัติกมะ Have you heard of it before
Yes, I heard about it, but not knowing about means details.
Oh, the details, like real understanding. All right. I think next time. When are we teaching next time? I'm not sure. But if any Dharma teachers here, you guys are teaching like in the next classes, then you can bring this up. I think because Sanghamita, she's curious about this. So I think we need time, Sanghamita. We need time to explain about Kamacharupa. It's a very delicate topic, and we need time to lay the foundation. Right? Very very important Kamacharupa.
Sadhu.
Yeah. It's better to show a chart
to chart
for that. Yeah. Thanks for raising this. So now we have an idea about what to teach.
next time okay thank you so much Sanghamita thank you Sankiti so from Puttapumi
All right. Sadhu everyone.
สาธุสาธุเสียดีเราถือพันธุ์ดี
Take care
ได้
ดีๆ
ในครั้งนี้
Anamotami.